Gets in, lads. We're back with Again Football podcast for the fourth episode on our fourth try. I'm just gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna keep going with it. Fourth episode. We should have a good one today. Andres doesn't have his head in the game today, but that's okay.
He doesn't.
That's okay. We're gonna talk about some LAFC stuff, our MLS fix, and particularly their adventures with German giants Bayern Munich and their recent investment in the Austrian fourth division side. Very interesting. Possibly Colombian national team stuff. Diego wants to talk about Unai Emery and his successes with Aston Villa this season. And then I got a pretty interesting Premier League question for the end. So that should be good. So stick around, please. If you don't want to stick around, we should have them all cut up and uploaded for throughout the week. So if you want to rather watch that, consider subscribing, turn notifications on so you know when they come out and all that stuff. And if you do watch through, leave a like so that we know you enjoyed the video and keep creating the kind of content. All the kind of stuff. Before I get into it, however, I do want to bring up that we got our first hate comments yesterday, our past couple of days, which was great. Two of them particularly.
We made it.
Two of them.
We made it.
Probably from the same person as it seems, which is great. So not only... So it was taking two accounts of one person, which is great. And we want to say thank you very much to you. I'm not going to say their name, but to you because you did indeed boost the views on the channel because we grew it a lot that day, which was great. So thank you very much. I will say though, we are trying to create, I feel like, a very committed, passionate, but friendly community here. So if you hate on us, that's okay. Just don't comment it. You know, like you can hate on us, just click out the video. It's simple as that. Leave a dislike if you want. Simple as that. You don't got to leave any hateful stuff. I'm trying to be nice, trying to be friendly, trying to be supportive even if we disagree, and all that jazz. So we appreciate the comment, however, because it did grow us, but we prefer not to have it next time. And that's okay. That's okay. Like Andres said, we do feel that if we've made it to hate, we're doing something pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing something pretty
and
good.
You just get made fun of in the group chat whenever you comment hate comments.
There we go.
Just remember that. You just get made fun of.
So yeah. So if you don't got anything nice to say, if you don't got anything nice to say, don't say it. You can totally disagree, and you can comment that. Comment if you disagree and tell us your opinion. But it's a conversation, not an argument. So thank you very much, and let's go on with episode 4. So we're gonna start with LAFC in particular. So like I said, I don't know if you guys in particular, Diego didn't, but I think a couple weeks ago LAFC announced their partnership with the biggest club in Germany, Bayern Munich, and I think it's a developmental kind of thing. To combine, what was the word? Yeah, talent development partnership is what is being referred to, which is great. John Thornton, LAFC GM and co-president, says we're extremely excited to work together with FC Bayern to identify and develop young talent in Southern California and beyond, and believe this relationship will provide players throughout our systems the ability to maximize their potential and see a clear pathway to first-team football. Partnership of this magnitude is the next step in our evolution as a club, which is great. I think it's fantastic. And no, he's correct in saying next step in evolution as a club, but also as a league for the MLS. This is great. This is seeing one of the biggest clubs in the world right now, potential Champions League winners this year, viewing an MLS team as like, hey, we want to partner with them because we kind of like what they're doing. We like the people going through their ranks right now, and we want kind of first dibs on that. Oliver Kahn, Bayern CEO and chairman of the board management and just overall soccer legend, says FC Bayern will expand its promotion of young talent with LAFC. On an international level, soccer is developing rapidly, which is also evident in the transfer market. We see this partnership as an opportunity to strengthen FC Bayern in the sporting competition with the best clubs in Europe and the Bundesliga. And then as well as this, LAFC also invested in, not partnered with, but invested in Austria's FC Wacker Innsbruck, something like that. Fourth division side, I believe. Formerly in the top flight, but not anymore. Last playing in 2019, but they invested in it. I think they're trying to keep investing, get it back to the top. And I think if they get to the top, I'm sure there's going to be some partnership there, and influence and whatnot. I think it's all interesting. I think we don't know as many details yet, of course. We'll get there. But is this something that more MLS clubs should be looking into? Is this a good thing overall for the league? Something that the clubs should be doing. I know NYCFC already kind of has it with the Manchester City, like the City Football Group.
Yeah.
They're kind of partnering with them.
I I'll be honest, I don't know too much about like all the intricate things that go on behind the scenes. So as a very naive sense, I want to say this is very good for MLS. As far as I know, it's mainly only positives. But again, I feel like I'm kind of not in the right like informational awareness to tell you, yeah, this is definitely good or not. I don't know, but it sounds good. Sounds promising.
I mean, to be fair, like I don't think anyone really knows. In all fairness, like we don't really have any details besides, hey, they're doing this,
right?
So like it's definitely an interesting thing. It's definitely I can't see how that'd be negative. The only negative I can see is that the MLS won't be able to grow in the sense we might not be able to keep our youth talent, right? That's a big thing in the foreign leagues, especially the Premier League. Like you have youth ranks, U21 players who grow through the youth and get to the top and they get the chance. I mean, look at United this season. Garnacho being one of them. You know, Chelsea have done that the past few years. Mason Mount up there. Chalobah played against Real Madrid today. Tammy Abraham and Tomori in the Serie A. Like things like that. The MLS is going to struggle to keep the youth players now, I feel. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That does expose over time to the MLS and their academy strengths. But is that a bad thing? Or is that a good thing?
For the league itself, I feel like it's a bad thing in terms of like you won't be able to say like, oh, they played in the MLS, they came from here, in terms of like first team football. But I feel like for the U.S. development wise, I feel like it's a good thing because going to Europe, they have now that outlet, like instantly an outlet, like because they're not the only team that has that development side where Orange County in the USL, they have a partnership with Rangers, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's one of the Scottish teams. So I think it's Rangers, but it's just it's a good idea, and I just hope it works out though, because I know LAFC has some ballers in their academy system. I played with some of them, so they got ballers there. So I hope they go on.
So you are wrong with the partnership. Orange County SC is linked with a Dutch
That's
team, Feyenoord. No, it's
no.
I mean, you might be right with the Rangers, but it is for sure at least Feyenoord, not Scotland. But that's okay.
Damn it!
It happens. It happens. I'm glad we cleared it up, or someone's going to comment.
Yeah,
you already were. Yeah. You already were exposed. Or someone's going to comment down below. Again. No, I'm just kidding. It's always Orange County SC. Andres said the same thing when we had the whole promotion relegation thing, and he was like, they did, but it was you're still wrong.
Nah, because it says, look right here. Oh shit, brightness too. It says Rangers SC and Orange County SC has formed a strategic partnership founded on football, youth development, and commercial activities between California and Glasgow. I was not wrong.
All right. Well, I guess you're right. All right. Oh, this is older, but there is a newer partnership, Feyenoord, like this year, like literally a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh, well, sick. Proves my point even better.
And all right, I don't understand that. I don't know of any players that Orange County SC has developed, but that's just me being naive and not knowing anything. Anyways, back to the whole partnership with Bayern Munich, LAFC, and all that. I think it's great. I'm interested in the investment in the Austrian side because that's something we haven't seen from an MLS team. We've seen other teams from other leagues, big teams, develop it or invest in lower teams from a different league, primarily City and Girona, Manchester City and Girona in Spain, right? They invest to develop Girona, and hopefully in time that will allow City to grow and get players from Girona. And I know there's other links here and there. Chelsea have been looking at buying I think it was Strasbourg. They were offered to buy Strasbourg or Bordeaux from Ligue 1. So things like that, right? This is the first time we're kind of seeing an American team growing out there, which is good because that shows that the MLS wants to get out there and dip their toes into international waters. And I think we can it's finally time that fans need to start taking MLS seriously in a way and not being like, it's just this retiree club this league where retired players go to. If top talent producers and talent buyers are forming partnerships with the league to get talent from our league, not send their retirees.
Yeah. On the flip side too, yeah, like what you're saying, it's just like not only is it like, you know, LAFC, LAFC in this scenario is gonna probably send players to Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich is also gonna send players to LAFC. So young talented players are gonna be exposed to the MLS and then start their careers off possibly here and then make their way onwards.
Back
but
to
at least
Europe.
we'll have the talent here temporarily, and then the league will get better, and then the common like idea of like it's a retired league will slowly change over time through these partnerships, especially through more partnerships.
Right.
So it's very encouraging, but also it's kind of sick that it's Bayern Munich, such a massive club. So,
dude, I mean, like we've seen time and time again, players come to the MLS, dominate, and then they're going to go back to Europe, and hopefully dominate over there. I mean, look at like Dennis Bouanga this year, right? No one knew his name. No one knew his name except Gabonese fans and Saint Etienne fans over in France. Comes to LAFC and he's killing it. Probably if he keeps it up, he's a lock in for MVP of the league this year. And there's no doubt he goes back to Europe in a year or two, right? Probably to a higher club or at least the same level club as Saint Etienne, but with better game time. And hopefully kills it over there. So it's doable. We've seen that Thiago Almada this year, the Argentinian wonder kid over at Atlanta United. Yeah. Our Argentina national team player, he started too, and he chose to come to the MLS. I mean, he's like one of the talents in the world, like the big talents. He could have went to Europe if he wanted to. Very easily could have. I'm sure he was being eyed by the big clubs, and he chooses to go to America, and he's killing it. Also MVP contender, at least Young Player of the Year. And he's definitely going to Europe in a year or two for a big money fee. I think they're expecting 60, 70, 80 million for this player. So it's doable. Like Bayern Munich definitely sees that, and they're like, okay, let's send our youth prospects there who are probably going to flourish because, as we've seen, European styles of play tend to flourish in this league. And then they're going to come back and, at worst, sell them for more money than they would have if they hadn't sold them to the MLS. Right, maybe like a game time with Bayern Munich because that's really hard. That's elite talent, but bring them back and sell them for millions more than you thought, and then boom. So I wouldn't be surprised if more clubs were to partner with these MLS clubs. I think like especially the big name ones like Inter Miami. I'm surprised it doesn't have a partnership like that. Like they're going to eventually, especially with David Beckham being up there. St. Louis City, definitely up there. St. Louis City, by the way, are apparently one of two MLS clubs who have made an approach to Roberto Firmino because his contract's almost done.
Really?
So they're already balling up there. They're already big balling.
Damn.
So they're definitely gonna partner with a big club from Europe and stuff like that. So I think it's great. I think it's a good sign as to where the league's heading. I think it's fun to watch. I think it's definitely gonna change the narrative, for sure. And it's exciting because we're actually gonna see good talent come over here. And not just, let's hope Messi comes here, or, Chicharito, like just these big names who are past their primes. We're finally going to see some good talent be developed through our leagues. Fantastic. All right. I'm gonna hand the mic over here to Diego a little bit because Diego wanted to talk about Unai Emery's successes in the Premier League.
Very adamant.
Very adamant, meaning he knows the most out of all of us. But
now you're setting me up here.
I'm glad
this
you
is where the hate comments. This is where the hate comments come from.
Yeah,
this instance right here.
This is where. No, I mean like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. This Unai Emery has been a revelation. We know he's good, right? We know he's a good manager. We've seen it. I mean, when he was at Villarreal, didn't he? He's the one who won the Europa League, beating United.
I believe so. I believe so.
A couple 2 years ago. But let's be honest, Steven Gerrard, he wasn't it, right? He wasn't it. He got the sack. He wasn't that guy.
No, he wasn't that guy.
And Unai Emery comes in, and we're like, it's a good pickup, but we weren't really sure what to expect. And then now let's see. He was appointed. I think it was October or November. I was trying to look for it. I couldn't really find it. I think it was October something, maybe like late October of last year.
October. It was October.
Yeah, October last year, and they were 15th. They are now 6th. They have gone unbeaten in their past 7 games, winning 6 of those. Their last loss was to Arsenal, which is not a bad team to lose
League
to at all.
leaders.
Yeah. And they have just been phenomenal. Ollie Watkins, since Emery has come in,
Watkins, man,
has been in phenomenal form.
You know, I was thinking earlier, like this is the year of the English striker, like for sure.
Yeah.
Like Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney. You can throw Marcus Rashford in there because he's
Erling
definitely
Haaland.
Erling Haaland. He was born in Leeds. You can throw him in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
No. I completely agree. But Watkins is probably like the best example we're talking about because we know Kane is. I think he's the best, one of the best, top 2 players in the Premier League. We know like Callum Wilson is very good. He's dealing with injury problems. Tony is just shining, but Watkins, like, we know he's good, but we didn't know he was this good. And like,
no one's brought it out of him.
No one has, and Emery is getting him the cook right now. He has the most goal contributions since Emery has come in the Premier League. I think I don't know, 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
Like just and like that's just like the obvious like star that's been really showing up. But you got all the other players. I don't want to take any credit from anybody else because it's a team effort, 100%. He's doing this well.
Of course.
And it's just like genuinely their form has been immaculate. It's been so good. It's top 6 level, and they're in the 6th right now with a squad that's, let's be honest, is nowhere. I don't think anybody will consider them a top 6 squad with the amount they're putting in.
It's definitely like really interesting because this is the same squad that before Unai Emery gets a sack or gets hired. Sorry, before Steven Gerrard gets a sack, everyone's like, this squad should be good. It's just not. Yeah. It just doesn't work together. And Unai Emery has somehow come in here and put it together fantastically. It's
so good. like this is a elite manager who, let's be honest, he got a lot of hate at the Arsenal job, and who knows for what reasons. You know, it could have. You know, I think the squad itself just wasn't it. He wasn't really kind of vibing with it. Like, I'm not going to try to pretend like I know what happened, but he is a very good manager. This is a while ago too. And he's come back. I think he's gotten a nice refresher at Villarreal, where he actually showed, like, you know, he, like I said, he won the Europa League with Villarreal, and now he's back in the Prem. He's dominating, man. He's
like,
dominating.
You look back on it, and I think no one really was considering it at the time, but he is literally the perfect mid-table team manager because he goes. So I'm just gonna go over his manager career. Like, he goes Almeria, Valencia, Spartak Moscow, barely, and then he goes to Sevilla, right? 2013, 2016. And he wins 3 Europa Leagues in a row. Okay, so he can do it. He goes to PSG, and you know he does whatever PSG is supposed to do. Right? They win their domestic stuff. They don't win the Champions League. That's typical. Yeah. He goes to Arsenal, struggles with Arsenal, doesn't really work. He goes to Villarreal, not the biggest name in club football, and he kills it over there. Wins the Europa League, and he comes to Aston Villa, and he turns it around. He just knows he is a football manager, if you will.
Football manager,
like that's his thing.
Football manager.
He just he has his specific tactic that he downloads, puts his players in it, and excels, and it's great.
Yeah, he has a very clear vision of his game plan.
Yeah.
And he sticks by it. Like I was looking at like kind of like the lineups and formations that he's playing over the past several games. He's sticking to like this 4-2-2. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I understand what's going on there, but I just know for a fact he's sticking by it, and he's getting a lot of good results with a lot of good credit from everybody around. And I haven't been able to find it to confirm, but I think he's only brought in like
signing wise.
Yeah, like signing wise, like during the winter transfer window.
I know he hasn't brought in many. That's all I'll say. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know he hasn't brought in many. Throwing out stats here. Since he's taken charge, only Arsenal and Manchester City have picked up more points than him. So if the season started when he came in, they'd be sitting at 3rd right now. above United, above Tottenham, above Brighton, above Newcastle. That's crazy. 18 games, 12 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses, 38 points from 18 games is insane. He's taken them from fighting relegation to challenging for European spots. Ollie Watkins says, there we go, 16 goal involvements since Unai Emery took over. Tied with Erling Haaland, 2 more than Harry Kane, 3 more than Bukayo Saka, and Salah and Rashford. Most goals in the Premier League in 2023, that's Ollie Watkins. Most goals plus assists in the Premier League in 2023, that's Ollie Watkins. Most clean sheets in the Premier League in 2023, that's Aston Villa. Most points won in the Premier League in 2023, that's Aston Villa. What more can you say?
What more? And West Ham. That's crazy.
Okay. Not even
I'm just
close.
trying to slot West Ham into there.
No.
Nowhere. That was crazy.
I just looked it up. He only made 2 transfers in the winter transfer window. One from Chicago Fire, actually, former Chicago Fire. Never heard of him.
The Colombian, Yohan Duran.
Yohan Duran. Yeah, exactly. 16 million. I'm sorry to know he hasn't really got much game time, but he's a young one.
Yeah,
and then Alex Moreno for 13 million.
He's been killing it too. He's been getting an underrated player that no one talks about.
But just on that short budget, what more can you ask for? He spent under 30 million, and he's in the top sixth, and they're unbeaten in their past 7, won their past 6. Incredible.
I wonder what he does if he goes he never will. I think he doesn't leave Aston Villa because I think he kind of knows where his place in football is. That is I said, taking them into the top. But I feel like he'd kill it at Tottenham. I feel like he would absolutely demolish at Tottenham because he already has the quality and the lack of budget, and he knows what to do with the lack of budget.
I'm not completely against the idea.
I think he is, though. In all fairness, I think he is.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. What more can you say besides a round of applause for him? He's been killing it. This does kind of harken back to the idea that the top 6, 7, 8, even in the Premier League, is getting so congested now. If he can keep this up, I really don't think this is a fluke season. If he can keep it up, you have Brighton fighting for a spot up there with De Zerbi. You have Newcastle stepping in, Aston Villa stepping in, and they're not going away for sure. And this Premier League has been a year of fantastic managers for many. Erik ten Hag has been doing wonders at United.
No,
you can't deny it.
Sorry,
you can't deny it.
Not no to you. My bad. It's my dog.
Right.
My dog tried to jump on the table. It's my fault. Shouldn't have muted.
It happens.
Eddie Howe for Newcastle.
Erik ten Hag, Eddie Howe, De Zerbi over Brighton, Unai Emery, Aston Villa. Phenomenal. I mean, Pep's doing his antics. You got to even give credit to Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is doing good over there too. Frank Lampard,
he's about to bottle it.
Joke. That's a complete joke. Phenomenal. And I'm just gonna segue into the question I had. I say for the end. I'm gonna say it now because it's a Premier League related question. No point in skipping through. If Arsenal don't win the title, I think it might have been brought up in a group chat already, but if Arsenal don't win the title and United finish 3rd, or at least a Champions League spot, is it right to consider United having the better season than Arsenal? If Arsenal
I
finish
saw that question. Yeah.
Because they won a trophy. I mean,
okay,
they did.
They did.
And Arsenal. Arsenal. I just want to say Arsenal bottled Europa League. And if they bottled the Premier League title, then they bottled that, and that's just a disappointment. Because they had all these highs, all this talk of them doing great things this season, and then they bottled everything they possibly could.
Okay.
I will say I agree with.
And then I just want to say I called that. So they do when they do. Sorry, when
I just was the only person in the world who said Arsenal was not going to win it.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree with the bottling part. I think as a Spurs fan who we often get wrongly labeled for situations where I didn't think we actually even bottled, but people put that label on us. I think this is one chance where I will gladly put it on our rivals and say they definitely bottled the league here. They were ahead by I don't know the math, but they were ahead by good 8 points.
Yeah.
And if they lose to City, that is a bottle. I'm sorry, but that is and
If they lose to
Arsenal fans
anybody else. They've tied the past 2 games, 2-0 up. Come on, you Irons.
So this is a bottle job, and for once as a Spurs fan, it feels good to be calling Arsenal doing a bottle job. They've really been in a position to do a bottle job recently, but now that they finally are in one, they do it. So great stuff. I love it.
I love it too.
Interesting.
I do want to add one thing.
Please.
Just the other side is Manchester City have been phenomenal, and they are so good. Such a good team.
They found their form.
It just comes so easy. It just comes to me. It's like watching. Like I've had the honor of watching Real Madrid these past 2 weeks a little bit. But it's City and Real Madrid, like the clubs where it just comes so naturally. Like they're just playing, right? Like they're just playing and it's so good. They know how to play and they just do it, and it's so clean and flawless.
Pep is a genius. Have you guys been paying attention to how he's been lining up recently? He's been playing John Stones in midfield, and people have been. Yes, he has, and it's been crazy. Like these past few weeks, he's been putting John Stones in midfield with like Rodri, and I've been seeing like just people saying how like, oh my god, like this guy's a genius. He's putting a defender in midfield, making him play like this defensive midfield role, and he's been phenomenal. And it's just only Pep Guardiola. Yes, Pep will get these things wrong sometimes, but here he got it right. This is what he does. This is why he's potentially the greatest manager of all time. He's just so damn good.
Oh, okay.
Potentially.
Right. That's big. That's big.
I think Sir Alexander Ferguson would beg to differ, but all right.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. That's just not the debate I want to have. I will say, and this is not meant to undermine Pep's geniusness. I think it is also like half. He's just the only one willing to take the risk. Like another thing too is like Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's been long known that he would kill it in the midfield. Yeah, that's the way he plays, right? And Jurgen Klopp only up until literally I think like yesterday or the day before has he even tried that, and he did do really good. And everyone's like, wow, like, and Pep, and honestly, like his team is just he knows his team is so good that he can take that risk and still feel confident enough that they're going to go into any game and win it.
True.
This is the season they win the Champions League in my eyes.
With Holland,
but this isn't to go back to the Arsenal United. That was the question,
right?
I don't want to take a side, but I will say to vouch for the opposite side, as you guys have said, that like United did win a trophy, which is fantastic, but they also didn't have the hardest run to get there. Like you go back and look at who they played, it wasn't the toughest thing in the world. Like, it's not like they won the Champions League. Like, it's not like they didn't have to play the best of the best. They just, they happened to get there, right? Like, and another team could have been there and done the same thing. Or, I don't want to call it lucky either because they were talented, but they could have, I guess I don't want to pick sides. It's not what I fully believe in. I'm just saying that someone could say that and say that Arsenal still have had a better season. I mean, if you look at Premier League solely, obviously Arsenal had a better season. Overall, I guess like this kind of remains to be
seen.
Honestly,
I do think Arsenal probably have had the more enjoyable season.
Yeah.
But like as much as I hate to admit it, because obviously as a Spurs fan, but the only people who are going to remember this season will be the Arsenal fans. And everybody else will remember, the Carabao Cup was won by United. And then that's kind of how it's going to be in history. 10 years.
I think it's good. It's one of those. I mean, this goes like we've talked about enough. Like United fans are the worst on Twitter right now because they've had a lot of resurgence and they think they're top of the world. But it's one of those. It's like, oh, don't forget we won the Carabao Cup. We're the best. Did you win a trophy? Blah blah. And then we're gonna go back in 5 years and be like, all you won was Carabao. Like you're really proud of the Carabao, or like things like that. And then you're like, oh, we don't care. Like, we didn't care. It's just Carabao. Like stuff like that. It's just one of those things. Like
that's like every team, though.
Perspective.
It's every Big Six team that says that.
I mean, like,
brother, I think win the Carabao Cup, we're gonna be on our knees loving it. I'll tell you that right now. We don't care.
I wouldn't say it's as much of a team. I think it's it's the fan. It's not. You can't really say it's a team. It's the fan. But they can have their fun right now. I think right now you could say United. You look back on it, you're gonna say Arsenal. That's the stance I'll take. It's a time thing. All right, let's move on now to a little more. I'm gonna go back to the MLS. I forgot to mention this, that we're gonna talk about this earlier, but big scandal thing with Red Bull New York. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was a pretty big thing in the MLS, involving a big racism thing. So in particular, I'm just going to go over what it was. So Dante Van Zier, I think that's how you pronounce it, Belgian forward, suspended for 6 games and fined by MLS for using racist language during a game against the San Jose Earthquakes. This was last week. Also prohibited from playing in the U.S. Open Cup, exhibition matches, or even the third tier MLS Next Pro League. That just so he can't play. He can't play for 6 games, and he will be required to participate in training and education sessions. But they don't know. We don't know how long the fine was. He had stepped away from the team, issued an apology, as well as the manager, as well as the team, which is good. But it doesn't just kind of fall back on this. There's a little more to it. So what essentially happens was he says a slur on the pitch as a player was down injured. Players react accordingly, even his own teammates. Boos from the players. The New York goalkeeper comes to the manager and says, "You have to take him off. Like, take him off right now." Even his own teammate says, "Take him off." And the manager, knowing what happened, doesn't take him off at all. That's the big issue. Doesn't take him off. There's video of it. There's video from like literally 20 feet away of the interaction. Doesn't take him off. Continues to play him throughout the rest of the game. I don't know the result of the game, but doesn't take him off, and all that happens is a written apology afterwards. And we all know that doesn't mean crap these days. That's not even written by them. That's written by their representatives,
publicists,
their publicists, their PR people, whether it's a club or their personal people. So because of that, there's a big outrage amongst the league. I haven't seen a single person defending this manager, going to the point where even the Red Bull supporter group did a walkout at their game against Houston Dynamo, in which they drew 1-1, I believe. They did a walkout. The Viking Army, Empire Supporters Club, and Torcida 96. So 3 different supporter groups chose to walk out. And they made joint statements, and literally the whole section was empty until a bunch of random fans came in and sat there. But they did, and it's just terrible. And they were even chanting "Fire Struber." Jared Struber is the manager, if you didn't know. But fire Struber. So what do we think? I mean, what's the course of action here? Do they fire him? Do they keep him? Is this something?
I don't think you should fire him over it. I think maybe talking to him about it. Like, I know that sounds like talking to, like, you know, like, I mean, like, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a suspension. Yeah, I know exactly. That's why it sounds like really childish and shit. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a suspension would be really harsh, or a fine maybe. But a fine. But like, what does he learn from that? I don't think he learns anything from that.
See, my thing is, he doesn't
learn anything from a talking.
My thing is, he doesn't even learn anything from a suspension. To me,
he shouldn't lose his job over it. If he didn't.
So
do
I am
anything
personally.
Technically.
That's the thing though, is to me, and I think a lot of people, it's the fact that he didn't do anything says a lot, right? It's the point that he didn't take out the player. If he takes out the player, that's at least some accountability, and he represents the club. He didn't do anything, and that's doing enough for us to say, for me to say at least, he should be fired. I think a suspension is not harsh enough. I think, but anything you give him that's not a sacking isn't enough. Especially, like, you know, at this level, we give him a fine, whatever. It's pocket change to him, I'm sure. You give him a suspension, okay, he comes back in like a couple of days, like nothing happens. You have to fire him. I think, especially at this point, with the outrage from the fans, you know, you have to fire him. He's never going to win them back. It doesn't matter what he does. You don't win them back. So then what's the point of keeping him? You know, then it's just a divided club. You don't want that as the ownership group. You have to sack him. You have to sack him, as well as get rid of the player, because he's the one that did the action of saying the racist remark, or using the racial slur. To me, there is no other thing than fire him. As well as, He's not doing good. They have 8 points through 8 games. They're sitting in 12th. It's not like Pep, like Pep, legend of the club. Let's make some give some win. Like, not saying you can be racist, but I'm sure there's a different level of okay, we'll get over it. As long as we win. Like, no one cares about this guy. Like, just sack him, get him out the way. Who cares? That's a bigger message to me, and I think most supporters of the league would see that and be like, okay, thank you, you did a good job. If they keep him, it's we're never going to support this guy again. You guys are going to lose money. You guys aren't going to get players that want to come in to play for this guy. That's me. There you go.
Yeah. I think the player you could probably get fired. Not fired. Just like, remove him, release him from the club. I think I agree with that. There's racism is just. It's not just something that someone does and you're like, oh my god, I learned from it. I'm so sorry. Like, no, bro, you're what, 20 something.
It's instilled in the brain. It's instilled in the brain.
Yeah, it's instilled in the brain.
It is.
If it's something that you're actually like you're naturally saying, and you're saying to insult someone or to hurt someone, like that's not going to change just because he gets a fine and the $10,000 or whatever the hell. The player needs to go. The player needs to be released. Now, as for the owner, that's a little more tricky because, yes, he technically didn't do anything wrong, but at the same time, he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And there's a saying for that. I don't remember the saying right now, but basically, like, if you don't do anything, that's almost like
you're just
the worst
as guilty.
thing you could do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like when the bullying stuff, like when you see people like videotaping like kids getting bullied, no one's stepping in. It's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say this. I don't want to give sympathy. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving sympathy to the club, because end of the day, this is the club's fault. Like manager's fault, player's fault. It boils down to the club because they play for the club. He's just a record signing, the player. And and that would say then their biggest move here is to get rid of him. I mean, it's like that shows you don't stand for it at all.
Yeah,
if you don't stand for it at all, that means you don't have anyone there that has or will promote that the racism part. You have. It doesn't matter how much he costs. Whatever, you have to get rid of him. And I completely understand the hesitancy to do that because it sucks. I mean, you shell out this much for the player in the MLS and it doesn't work out, and literally not because of you. You didn't do anything wrong bringing him in, and then it comes out as that. The Earthquakes head coach, Luchi Gonzalez, said he, quote, was adamant to suggest that the player should not be on the field anymore. So it's not like the Red Bull manager didn't think about it. It's not like no one told him during the game. The goalkeeper told him. The other manager told him. I'm sure someone else did too. And he was stubborn enough to keep him in and was so set in keeping him in that it's not like it was a lapse in judgment. Like, people told him.
He cared more about the game and winning it than he cared about what actually happened on the field.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate because it shouldn't be that way. If your players are telling you, no, I'm not playing with this guy, then you got to take him off. Like, it doesn't matter. You take him off and he's done. He's done for the day. Or he's done until he apologizes and he actually is genuinely sincere, but I don't think he is. But
there's no recovery from this. Like, you can do whatever you want. I do know that he publicly apologized in the press conference on Thursday. The front office met with the supporters groups where the player and the manager was present at for the no voice of concerns, which is good.
That's a good step, though. That's a good step.
It's definitely a good step, but what does it mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything. He said it once. Who's stopping him from saying it? The only thing stopping him from saying it again is because there's already pressure on him again, right? If he were given the opportunity, like, just get rid of him. But at the same time, I don't want to say I feel bad. That's just normal for me to say. They're not going to get their money back. Very few teams in the world at the level he probably wants to play at is going to be like, oh yeah, we'll take him. Who cares, right? Like, because of all this. So it's just a lose-lose for everyone. It's unfortunate this all happened. There's no recovery because no matter what you do, there's going to be plenty of fans, including me, who's never going to be like, it's okay, I'm over it. let's just move on. It's not one of those things, and ignorance and inaction like that.
It's a hard thing to take back.
It is
because also in today's climate, like an apology like won't do it. You know,
yeah,
like you actually got to prove it.
Personally,
that takes a long time,
as it should. And there's like ignorance and letting things slide like this is a reason why it's still present.
Yeah,
right. And this, I mean, this is a deeper morality thing. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say.
I mean, if clubs get rid of players for talking shit about them during the off season, I mean, this should be an easy decision. Like, if you think about it, because like there's clubs where like the players get talk shit about the club to fans and shit, and then they get released, and then when they find out about it, and then this should be an easy decision in terms of releasing the player. I don't know about the manager. Manager made a bad call, really bad call, but I don't know what he did behind closed doors. He could have done a lot of stuff behind closed doors that hasn't been reported. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give him some leeway. To a little bit.
If there was anything behind closed doors, we would know about it. Because if they did anything, Red Bull as a club would be like, oh, guys, in the locker room you didn't see, he took accountability or he did something. He told the player he's never going to play again for him. Things like that. We would know about that. Because that'd be great for PR. So I don't think he did anything. I'm still of the notion that he's going to get sacked, that he should get sacked. Like in any other job, you say a racist thing, and more often than not, you're gone, right? So what's different? Like this is deeper than soccer, of course. Obviously, this is a humanity thing. He should be gone. If to the viewers, I mean, if you have different comments, if you agree with us, leave it down below. If whatever, we want to know. We want to see what people think, especially if you're a New York Red Bulls fan. I mean, you're at the heart of this. We want to know how you feel, and what you've seen, because you probably know more than us. I don't know what the talk has been, but I'm a firm believer that he should be sacked and the player should be gone. Yeah. Who cares about money spent, money costs, whatever? It's deeper. It's deeper. It's deeper than the finances. All right. Well, I think we should call it there. We're already at a good 45 minutes. So
on a dark note. But remember, just be nice to people. On a dark note. The best way to end this episode is be nice to people, treat everyone with respect.
Amen.
Yep. Even if you don't
like racism. Exactly. It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and follow our TikTok. We're gonna be breaking down this video into smaller segments. Probably this will be its own segment. Very serious topic. Always leave a comment. We love reading all the comments, including hate comments. We find those extremely funny. And thank you guys for watching, and peace.